Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial on how to cut and sew a simple two-piece shirt and trouser. So if this is something you like, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet seen the drafting tutorial, please go down to my YouTube channel at Maki's Closet. So without much wasting time, so let's dive right into today's video. So now here is our trouser pattern which we have cut out in our previous tutorial. So what I did was to go ahead to use this pattern to cut out, and I cut out exactly what we have on the pattern. I did not add any half inch on any part. So for this dress I made use of 3¼ of Ankara. So to make this dress you at least need 4 yards to 5 yards of Ankara. So I had to complete mine with a fabric I had at home. So this is the back part of the trouser, and I'll stitch this down with ½ inch and I will pin it down. So I'm also supposed to attach a dart, also a dart, but I will be doing that much later. So after I'm done stitching this is the the front pattern. I'll also go ahead and stitch this down with ½ inch. After stitching it down with ½ inch, I'm just going to go ahead to join this side. When placing, make sure the right side of your fabric is facing each other, and you're going to be marking this with ½ inch all the way. So if you notice at this point where I have my hip is a bit curvy, so after I'm done sewing, I'm just going to blend it up by sewing out about ½ inch at that point, so that my hip area won't be curvy. So in most cases, let's say that you're working with someone that is a bit curvy, probably the person's hip is about 40-45 and above, you might have this curve on your trouser. So after sewing, all you have to do is to blend out this side to avoid your trouser having air. So when I was actually placing my trouser, I didn't place it very well, so I'll just go ahead and place it right now. That is the right side facing the right side. So for the label of my trouser, I'll go ahead to remove it. I will iron it out. So if I do it now, it might be sticky and difficult for me to join the trouser. Now go ahead and stitch this down with ½ inch. After I was done stitching, this is what I have. And if you notice by the side, after stitching with ½ inch, I went in again with another stitch just to make that part a bit straight. So don't worry, your trouser will still fit. All you have to do is measure one side of the front, fold it into two. Now you're going to be marking the dart at the center of one side of your trouser. For the length of your dart, it is 3 inches. You're going to be marking a 3 inches dart on that. Why some people make use of a 5 inches dart, so just go ahead and make use of the one that works for you. For me, I'm making use of a 3 inches dart. So I'll go ahead also to fold the other side into two, and I'll be marking my dart, which is 3 inches dart, and I'll mark ½ inch on top. That is 1 by 3 inches dart. Mark half on top of where you start sewing your dart, and the depth of the dart is 3 inches. So I'll just go ahead and also repeat it here. Mark 3 inches and mark ½ inch on top and connect. So I'll just go ahead and I will sew up my pattern or the dart. So when you're sewing your trouser, you have to check your measurement. It has to be accurate. So if there's error on it, let's say it is bigger than your waist is bigger on the fabric, go ahead to shape it out, because in trouser you don't need much allowance or adjustments. Just like the skirt, you can always adjust. So now I'll just also go ahead to fold the lower part while I'm also sewing up my dart. So I'll be folding it up with ½ and 1 inch, fold with ½ inch, then fold with 1 inch down. So after I'm done folding, this is what I have. Go ahead to place your tape and take the round measurement of your waist. It's supposed to be the actual waistline, your actual waistline. So mine is 28 after I'm done measuring, and that is the waistline. That is my waistline. If you have any excess, please go ahead and shape it out at the sides of your trouser, or check the part that you did not shape very well. So I'm going to open up my trouser. To make sure that your trouser is accurate, the lap or the crotch part should be meeting each other this way. If it's not meeting, there's an error in your measurement. So bring out the sides of your trouser this way, and now we are going to insert our measurements. There are two ways to insert your measurement, which is just marking ½ inch round, because all we added was just a 1 inch sewing allowance. That means ½ inch on both sides, and after sewing ½ inch we already have that. Or you want to impute your measurement. At the lower part of my trouser, what I had round was 13 inches plus my sewing allowance 14. So I've sewed out ½ inch. I'll be dividing that 13 inches by 2, and what I have is 12.5, which I marked there. So if you notice, what we have left is that ½ inch. Place your tape at the upper part of your trouser and locate your knee point. My knee point is 21 inches. That is placing my tape from the waist and measuring it to my knee. I have 21 inches. So my knee round is 17 inches plus the 1 inch sewing allowance we had, which made it 18. So now that 17 inches, I will divide it by 2 and place it from the joining we have on the sides of the trouser, and I will mark. So you also notice that what I have here is about ½ inch. So measure 2 inches down your trouser crotch, which is your tie line. So here you might have a little shortage if you shaped out the side of your trouser. That is to avoid that pointy part at your trouser. So here my lap is 25.5. After dividing, what I had is 12.75, but when I was shaping, it wasn't up to that. I had roughly 12.2 inches, but it's also okay. Just go ahead and insert the measurement you have there. It's going to fit anyways. Why we had a shortage there was because of we shaped out that side, the side of the trouser, to avoid having a pointy edge. So just slope it down just the same way you have here, since we have ½ inch all the way down. So I'll just go ahead and mark that ½ inch. That means my measurement is accurate, and I'll just shape this all the way to the lower part. If you want also, you can still repeat the same process of inserting your measurements on the trouser. So I'll just go ahead and shape this out. So after I'm done shaping out my trouser, on one side of your trouser, which is the left side where you want your zip to be, because I'm not adding a pocket to this trouser, I don't have enough fabric to do that. So I'll be placing my zipper by the side of the trouser. Then place the center of the zipper at the center of the joining you have by the side. That is the stitch you have by the side. Then go ahead to sew round it. So after sewing round it, this is the effect you will have. The zipper will be in between the fabric, covering it. So by the time you zip up your trouser by the side, the zipper won't be showing. So now you want to go ahead and open up that stitch. That is the main stitch of the dress. By the time you open it up, the fabric there will be covering it. So after I'm done opening it, this is what I have, and I will chop out the excess I have on top, turn it round, and this is what this side looks like. Now I have gone ahead to cut out my band. So for the band, I'm using 3 inches band, and then your waistline, my waistline is 28, and I added extra 2 inches to my waistline. So the reason why I want to do that is I want to cover this at this side. So you're going to go ahead and place and stitch with ½ inch round, or you want to use the band of the trouser to cover it. So leave like few inches, go ahead, place and stitch with ½ inch. So I ironed a pepper stay on it. So now you want to flip in this zip inside this way, and then fold it up, and then also fold the lower part this way. So you'll be top stitching on it. You'll be top stitching in between the band and the actual trouser. Go ahead to fold it. So I used a 1 inch band. So by the time you use a 3 inch band, use half to fold it on both sides, you will have a 1-inch band. That is 1.5 on both sides will give you 3 inches. Then by the time you use half to fold it, you will have 1 inch remaining. So this 1 inch is not a constant, you can use 2 inches. So I don't want the band of my trouser to be high. So also when I was attaching my band, instead of using 1/2 inch to attach it, I used more of 0.75 to attach my band to the trouser. So this will help lift the crotch part of my trouser in front to help it relax. So because when I was cutting out the trouser in front, I reduced it by 1/2 inch. I was actually supposed to take it down by 1 inch. So this will help take up the crotch area of the trouser. So now I'll be stitching on it all the way round. So after I'm done stitching, this is what my trouser is. I went ahead to iron it a little. I'm not really good at ironing trouser, but this is the trouser I have, and I'll just attach like a button by the side. So here's my shirt. I've used this to cut it out. At the neckline, I added 1/2 inch round. So you want to note your button allowance. So you have to fold it up this way and then draw out a line, or you can even use an iron that part to make it come out very well. So after you're done doing this, you want to go ahead to fold up your trouser, to fold up your shirt. Fold with 1/2 inch and then fold up the rest. This is to help. Why I used 3 inches for my button allowance is so that the button allowance will relax very well. Not in the case where you button your shirt, you can see through your body. So I don't really like that in my shirt, so I prefer using 3 inches button allowance. So I went ahead to stitch that down, and I'll cut out this excess I have here. So after I'm done cutting this out, right, we are going to join this to the to the back pattern of the shirt. For the back pattern of the shirt, I had a little joining. I wanted to complete my fabric with a plain fabric because what I had was not really enough. So all you have to do is when you're cutting this out, you're going to actually add 1/2 inch at the center to join it. So I am going to join the shoulder also with 1/2 inch. So if you watch the video where we cut out our pattern, you will also notice that we have a come down effect at the front side of our shirt. So we are going to have that after we are done sewing. So this is my sleeve, and I also want to attach a black fabric since I've already done that for the back part of my shirt for it to match up. So this area now that I cut out, I will use another black fabric to cut it out to match what I have at the back of my shirt, so that it will look okay. So now I'll place this and stitch with 1/2 inch this way. After stitching, I'll fold it and top stitch on it. After I'm done stitching, this is what I have. You want to go ahead also to notch the center because you'll be joining it. So this is what I mean by the come down at the front part. Now you're going to notch your new shoulder. Make sure that your armhole is meeting first before you go ahead to notch your new shoulder. That come down effect at the shoulder will make your shoulder, the first shoulder you have, to come lower to the front part. So now I'll just go ahead and attach my sleeve also at once, and also attach at the other side. So you'll be weaving out your shirt after you're done sewing. Now after I'm done attaching the sleeve, I will sew up with 1 inch and then leave about 7 inches or 6 inches below. So this is what I have after I'm done sewing. This is the opening by the side of my dress. So now you want to fold this with 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'll just chop out a little at the side of my trouser, the side of my shirt, the part that is a bit pointy, so that it will be straight and okay to fold with. So after this, I'll just go ahead and fold it up this way, then run a stitch on it, and when I get to this point, I'll just go straight down, then fold this way, and I will stitch this all the way down to the lower part of the shirt. So I'll also go ahead to repeat this for the other side. After I'm done doing that, go ahead to fold the lower side of your shirt. Then I'll now go ahead to measure my neckline. So while measuring my neckline, what I have there is 22 inches, right? And I'm going to use it to cut out my collar. I'll be cutting my collar on fold, and I'll cut a 1 collar. So my collar on fold, 22 divided by 2, I have 11. I'll mark, then mark the midpoint of 11. So after this, I'll come up by 1/2 inch and connect it to this midpoint. This is so that my collar will relax very well at the back. Come up by 1 inch at this point for the collar stand. You can also use 1.5 inches for your collar stand. It totally depends on what you want to use for yours. So I'll just go ahead and I will mark this out. After I'm done marking this out, the next step you want to take is to mark at least 2 inches here, come in by 1 inch, and from after marking that 1 inch, go up by 3 inches here and connect. Now from this 2.5 is what I marked here, so I had to come down by 2 inches again and then reconnect to give that slopey effect, and I came out by 1 inch and I connected back. This is to create this pointy effect you normally see on the shirt collar, and then curve out the front part to avoid it being straight, or less you want that effect on your shirt collar. Now I'll just go ahead and I will cut this out. So after cutting this out, I'll cut out that 1/2 inch at the lower part. Now you're going to use this to cut out your shirt collar on fold. So add 1/2 inch all the way around, and you're going to iron a collar stay, peplum stay, or any thick pepper interfacing that you have. You don't want to use a collar stay on it. So after ironing, the peplum stay I had at home is a bit thick, so I made use of that, and you're going to iron it on one side of the shirt collar. That side will be the side facing underneath the shirt. So you don't want your collar, the part that will be facing out, to be too stiff. So I will just go ahead and notch it round, and I will turn it to the right side. So if you have any question on this, you can just go ahead to also ask or drop your comment at the comment section. So I'll just go ahead and turn this out, and I will give it a good press. You need to iron it out because some part of it was not relaxing on my fabric, so I had to go ahead again and iron it out so that it will relax very well. So after I was done turning it out, I'll go ahead to iron out and also notch out the pointy edge so that it will help relax the collar part of your shirt. So now it's time to attach your collar to your shirt. Go ahead to fold the neckline, find the middle and notch it. Now that part that you ironed a collar stay on, you're going to take it and place it at the collar of your shirt this way. Now you're going to start stitching with 1/2 inch all the way to the button allowance of your shirt. Also go ahead and stitch with 1/2 inch and attach it to the other side also. So this is just a simple way of attaching your collar. So after I'm done attaching my collar, that is the first part, I will now fold in the remaining half of the collar in this way, and I will top stitch on it. This is like an easier method to attach your collar to your shirt, the shirt neck. So after I was done sewing, this is what I have. I'll insert button to it, make a button hole on it, and this is the final look of the dress. So if you find this tutorial very interesting and educative, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and join us in our next video. Thanks.